Hi, Davita. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Nicole. How's it going, girls and boys? Hey, Whisper. I'm really tired, sleepy, but I want to read some of these. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Get nice and sleepy. Carolyn read herself to sleep, so I'm going to do it now, too. It seems to work pretty well. We're going way back. The people that wrote these stories are from the July 1983 magazine. That's one of the gifts from Carolyn for my birthday. Sent me a whole big stack of these. Remember, guys, I showed you at the house in South Carolina. So they're all different years, 83, 84, 86, 85, 84 again, 84, 83, 83, and I have more in there. And I just love how they're all in their own little packages. You know what I mean? The year Daisha was born, 80, 83? Really? And she's child number one? Wait, no. No. Because I know we're the same age. And Nikki was born in 80. She's the youngest. August 21st, child number 5. Oh, okay. Why do I always think that Tanya is the baby of the family? I don't know why. I can never. So it's Daisha that's the baby. I always get them mixed up. Okay. And this is July 1983. Okay. What, Lex? Okay. We're going to read I Shook Hands with President Harding, the second to the youngest. Oh, okay. So you had the three boys then and 2 girls. Wait. Oh, Tanya was the second to the oldest, born in 72. Okay. All right. So you started way before me, girl. I'm kidding. Bonnie was 74. Okay, I know I read some of these the other night or sometime, but I found a couple that I didn't read in here, so I'm going to read them. This is I Shook Hands with President Harding. You were 10. Yeah, I know I didn't read this. This is by F.A. Case. Here's a picture of him right here, of the president. President Harding in the light suit and straw hat. Mrs. Harding wears the light plaid coat. Oh, you can just barely make them out, but yes. Wait, let's see. See the straw hat and then the plaid coat on the First Lady? I was born in Baker, Oregon in 1911, and I grew up on a ranch 6 miles from town. Even though we lived in a small community, I don't remember ever feeling isolated as there was always something happening. We always went to town on Saturday nights, sometimes in snowy weather, with a horse and buggy. Is Alicia here? Horses, Alicia. We usually went to a movie on Saturday night. There were stage shows at the Opera House, and sometimes we saw vaudeville productions. In summer, there were band concerts in the city park, and once each year, the Chautauqua came to town. We always attended the circus, Barnum and Bailey, Sells, Floto, or Ringling Brothers. Oh, that's before they merged. Barnum and Bailey, Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey. Sometimes we met at my grandparents' house, and the entire family would attend the event. There was one occasion, however, which stands out in my memory. It was the year 1923, when President Warren G. Harding was touring the country in his special train. He had been invited to stop at Mecum, a small community in the mountains west of Baker, to be present at the dedication of a memorial honoring the pioneers who had journeyed in their covered wagons along the Oregon Trail. It was to mark a particularly perilous spot on the trail, Emigrant Hill. An excursion train would leave from Baker, especially for this event. My parents and I and my uncle Ed had made arrangements to travel on this train. At Mecum, we would be joined by an uncle and aunt from Condon and my cousin Margaret, who was about my age. It was exciting to board the excursion train along with the crowds of people who wanted to attend the dedication and to see President Harding. I sat beside my favorite uncle, who had brought along a large bottle of our Aw, thank you, Nicole. Thank you. You're born the same year as mine, Nikki. Mine's Stephanie Nicole. Thank you for listening. My favorite uncle, who brought along a large bottle of our porter, a kind of raspberry soft drink, which we shared from time to time. The ride was relatively peaceful, however, until the train entered a tunnel, which was as dark as the darkest night. So does she, with 1K N-I-K-I. Yes. Unless she's changed it, but it's usually N-I-K-I. Hi, Moo Moo. In the darkness, I felt someone take hold of me and thoroughly shake me up. As the train emerged from the tunnel, all was tranquil again. My uncle was sitting with his chin resting on one hand, ostensibly viewing the landscape beyond the train window. He was always full of jokes, the best uncle a boy could have. When we arrived in Mecum, the presidential train, where are we here? Because I thought I felt a mosquito on my leg. The presidential train was already waiting on the side track. Most of all, I remember the way the train was decorated. It seemed to me that it was covered with bunting. The red, white, and blue colors looked beautiful on that wonderful sunny July day. Okay, let's see who's paying attention. Hey, Lisa D, you're up early. Which president did this kid meet? Which president are we talking about? What's his name? See who's paying attention. I know how you guys are. You got it, Nicole. Very good. The celebration took place on a level, grassy area. A wagon train with Joe Axford as wagon master had made its way to Meekum from Baker. The Umatilla Indians had set up their teepees nearby. Their part of the event was to stage a mock attack on the wagon train. I remember the horses galloping as the attack took place, and as the blue-coated riders who portrayed the cavalry came to the rescue. With my 116 Brownie box camera, my mother took several pictures that day. There were pictures of President Harding and his bodyguards, the Indian teepees, the covered wagons, and one of a family group in which I was holding my cap pistol. Hi, Tina Pina. I don't believe Alicia's not in here. She's been in Carolyn's Shell Live and then the one tonight on the trial. So she probably fell asleep. I remember that we brought a picnic lunch in a big box and that we sat in the shade on the clean grass to eat, the whole family together. My aunt and uncle from Condon had accepted a ride in the automobile of a man whom my Uncle Ed disliked for some reason, and his feeling apparently was reciprocated. I watched the two men when they could not avoid meeting face to face, and saw that each barely nodded to the other. I'm gonna drink. Oh, good, Nicole. Later in the afternoon, my father, seeing President Harding standing on the observation platform of the train, said, "Come with me." Oh, how sweet, Lisa T. It's really sweet. We approached the president. I could see that the president seemed preoccupied and disturbed. His expression was worried or concerned. I saw no smile at all on his face. My father extended his hand. "Goodbye, Mr. President," he said. The president and my father shook hands. "Goodbye," the president said. Then he turned to me. I was so short, he had to lean over a little to shake my hand as he repeated, "Goodbye." There were many things to see that day: the Indian teepees, the covered wagons, the crowds of people. We wandered about, forgetful of the time. Suddenly, Uncle Ed was there saying, "Come right away. The excursion train is about to leave. We'll have to hurry or we will miss the train." Uncle Ed was a seasoned railroad traveler who had had the forethought to learn the train's departure time and to keep an eye on his big pocket watch. We hurried, and we were among the last to board the train. Tired by the exciting day, I was glad to enjoy a restful and uneventful ride back home on the Union Pacific Special. So ended a most memorable experience. So how old would, he's not alive anymore. He said he was born in 1911. Yeah, that would make him, 111 years old? Wait. Yeah, 111 this year. Well, you know what? He still could be. I mean, there are people that live longer than that, you know? Let's see. I found a couple more in here that we hadn't, but I didn't read. Really, Tina Bina? So she was born in 1922. How long did she live, Tina? How old was she when she passed? There's a thing about the Thanksgiving Day parade and all that. No, not Thanksgiving Day, but Hollywood stories from days and days and days of old. I'll find some different ones. Now, let's read this one. Uncle Tom is at the wheel. We kids and Grandma are in the rear. Hi, Kevin. My mom who passed in 26/11. Oh, wow. Your mom, really? She's just a month younger than I am. Because I just turned 67 in May. How sad. I'm sorry. Hopefully, Lisa, when she gets back home, she'll snap out of that, A lot of times while they're in the hospital, older people get confused. Even younger people do too, of course. Wow, May 14th. Here's the little family we're going to read about right now. Look at that grandma back there. I can see 2 kids back there, maybe more, I'm not sure. Let's see what this is called. Excuse me. Button Ball Beach by Carl Wolfgang Maywald. Or wait, I hope I didn't read this. I don't think I did. Here's the kids, Ruth Porter with Albert and Ruth Maywald. 1 sailboat was lost and 2 were recovered. This is that those same people. Oh, yes, Lisa. We're praying for your mother. Oh, Lex. Well, at least you can chat in mine, right? I wonder why you can't in Carolyn's. She can finally chat someplace. The favorite swimming place of my childhood days wasn't the old swimming hole called Bare Bottom Beach by my contemporaries, where we fished for catfish and sunnies when the water was too frigid for skinny dipping. BBB had a long clay side down a steep bank that, when it was properly wet down, was slick as grease and made for the fancy sliding acts. Like frisky otters, we would shoot into the water in any possible way we could think of, belly whoppers, sitting up, or head first on our backs, with plenty of variations. The pond was simply the water filled excavation where the clay for making millions of building bricks had been removed. The clay was a lovely yellow gunk that we used for war paint when we played Indian. Sometimes we daubed on complete bathing suits, quote unquote, before zipping down our slide. I recall an old nearsighted lady who happened by when we were thus clad, telling my mother, I was amazed at seeing a dozen boys with suits exactly the same color. Why wasn't it his favorite? It sounds like he likes it a lot. Lou Bennett, easily the best swimmer in the bunch, claimed there was a barbed wire tangle in the murky depths of the pond with human bones caught in it. As he put it in his inimitable jargon, inimitable jargon, those convolutions of rusticating fence tanglements are infestooned with corpuscle delectable ossifications. When I momentarily osculize them, a scarifying decomposed skull with hollow escarpments glimpered at me. I scramblized. Of course, none of us fellows believed such nonsense. Still, there were no takers of his dare to accompany me and visibilize the gruesome entombulation. What a kid, right? The swimming place that I remember so fondly had none of the somber aspects of a clay pit. Here we go. It was 20 miles away, so I only got to go there with my family, and then only when Pop and the Model T were in the mood. Bathing suits were a must at Button Ball Beach, and the mudslide was missing, but the place held other charms. Several giant button ball trees, they are called sycamore or plane tree, Plane, in some localities, shaded a lush green sward just dandy for picnics. The pool was only a spot in the clear mountain brook where generations of youngsters, like eager beavers, had widened and partially dammed the rushing water. It never got soupy like old Bare Bottom Beach did in August, but swirled along over its pebbly bottom, clear as crystal in the hottest weather. The grass was kept trimmed neat as your lawn by the owner of the land, a retired farmer known only as Quinn, who swung a scythe as old and bent as himself to keep the weeds and brush at bay. His form was so set into a question mark by a lifetime of toil, folks claimed if his scythe wore baggy overalls, a sweaty shirt, and a floppy straw hat, you couldn't tell them apart. He never accepted a penny for his labor. Sometimes, before they got to know him, folks had sneaked up on him and dropped money in his pocket, slipping away before he could return it. Once I approached him as he leaned on his scythe, watching the frolicking bathers, and asked, Why do you do such hard work for nothing, Mr. Quinn? Hope you get feeling real better real soon, Nicole. He mopped his brow with the red bandana looped around his scrawny neck. I'm hoping this one will make Davita get teary eyed. Flicked a glance at the folks in the water and by the cooking fires, then spoke. Figure it out for yourself, boy. Another long, satisfying look at the happy people, and he began mowing again. Sometimes we took my pal Lou Bennett along because his father was a sideshow barker and came home only once a year when the show hit Middletown. I'll never forget the first time Lou saw the place. As we all wore our bathing suits for underwear, my sister and brother were scampering towards the water before Pop had pulled Lizzie to a full stop under a shady tree. Come on, Lou, I urged. Last one is is a rotten egg. Momentarily, my dear compendium, momentarily, he replied. I'm overwallered by the rusticated embellishments of this parasitical guardian of celebricosity, yon dapplement of solar fragmentations. What in the heck is wrong with this kid? Filamenting through the emerald boweries, the ripplement of liquefied essencerills, scrambulating mist, moss festered monoliths, and the visibilities of conlateral souls disportioning in the aquatation. Hey, Billy boy, thank you. That's sweet. Thanks, Billy boy. In the aquatation, inure me to the cordialities of my visitation. Before I could recover from his verbal barrage, he dashed off to the pool and called out, You're the desiccated poultry product. When I got married, my young bride and I often went to Buttonball Beach because with the Depression stalking the land, it was the only place we could afford. With gasoline selling for 18 cents a gallon, it cost us 36 cents for a day's outing. When the children came along, we gave them their first swimming lessons there. Like ourselves, they marveled that old Mr. Quinn could keep wielding his scythe and would accept no pay for his monotonous task. If he really liked you, though, he'd accept a hamburger or hot dog on a bun with a simple thanky and be off on his self-imposed task as soon as he was finished. When the children grew up and moved away, we stopped going to the place, although it remained a sunny paradise in our memories, for there were so many other places to visit. Cherished memories never die. They grow brighter as the years speed by. Last summer, when two of my grandchildren, Kenny and Sheila, were visiting us, I described the attractions of Buttonball Beach in glowing terms. I conjured up a vision of sunny water and cozy little flat fires for toasting wieners and marshmallows, with old Mr. Quinn smiling benignly on happy bathers. Let's go there, Grandpa, said Kenny and Sheila in unison. I thought of how glad Mr. Quinn would be to welcome another generation of Maywalds to his picnic spot. Why not? I beamed. There was a rush to find swim fins, towels, and such. A picnic basket was loaded with goodies in record time. Taking along a camera to record the happy event, we piled into the car for our trip into yesterday. When I turned off the main highway, I was surprised that the shady lane to the beach had become a macadamized, I don't know how to pronounce, 6-lane thoroughfare used largely by interstate bus and truck traffic. The old landmarks were either gone or transformed into something with commercial value. The tall hemlocks that had transformed the way into a cool tunnel were gone. Cullen's Golden Guernsey farm had been turned into a horse ranch where you could rent a bony plug for an astronomical hourly rate. The line of decrepit crowbaits warily switching at swarms of horseflies was enough to gag an old horse lover like me. Why can't they tie them in a shady spot? I growled. But the next place annoyed me even more. I wonder if Minnie went outside. Peanut doesn't like being alone. She's changed a lot. Carson's chicken farm had undergone a strange transformation. The neat white cottage had been built onto so much it sprawled nearly to the chicken coops, which now had curtains in the windows and fancy signs like "Ye Old Rustic Roost" and "Coop d'Etat" tacked on them. Where white leghorns had cackled and laid eggs in the old days, city folks were sprawled on the grass or in deck chairs, jabbering away at each other, seeming content to huddle in a close flock. Just ahead now, we'd be at Pomeroy's fruit farm. Surely they would still have peaches and early plums. I'd buy some for the kids on the way back and chew the fat with what in the blazes? A huge billboard stared smack at us. Sammy's Swim Spot was the legend. Today's special, $10 per family. Read the placard tacked under it. What was meant to be music assaulted my ears with a savage pounding. Disco discord on the loudspeaker system poured out full volume. Gone was most of the orchard, and in its place, a big cement swimming pool lurked, a swarm with shrieking, tussling folks of all ages. Beyond the pool were two lines of picnic tables crowded near each other in the narrow yard. Three huge tanks nestled close to the end of the pool to filter the water and load it with chemicals. At the one fireplace, bikini-clad women elbowed each other to get at the flaming grill, one dropping her platter of hamburgers in the melee. Peanut! I'm probably going to stop after this one. Maybe she'll go back to sleep. Let's see. Going to be a short one tonight. Okay. Let's stop here, cried Kenny. They have a super diving board. Yeah, let's, chirped Sheila. That music is cool. I shook my head and kept driving. We were halfway across the wide bridge, replacing the old iron trestle across the brook before I became aware we had reached our destination. I pulled off the road at the wide spot just past the bridge and stepped out of the car, narrowly missing getting run over by a truck. But where was the grove of buttonball trees, the pebbly beach, and most of all the carefree people? Here and there, a rotting stump showed through the matted brush and weeds. Poisonous nettles grew to the water's edge where a falling tree blocked off a stagnant pool. A sluggish black snake slithered into the water, wriggling through the woods and weeds in slow motion. From the mound of fresh dirt by his burrow, a grizzled woodchuck eyed us warily to see if we would invade his domain. I closed my eyes momentarily, conjuring up happy scenes of water games, hot dog roasts, and sentimental ballads sung around the campfires on balmy evenings. A wave of nostalgia came over me, then faded. Those days were gone, never to return. Come here, baby. Come here, Peanut. Granny. Okay. It's okay. Man had abandoned Buttonball Beach, and nature had returned to claim her own. There was no way we could reverse the process, no way we could breathe life into the unkept grove or recapture the blissful past. Let the dead rest in peace. We'd be only interlopers here. With tears in my eyes, from the diesel fumes, no doubt, I headed for the car. We'll go to Sammy's swim spot, I checked. At least it's alive. I'm gonna, yeah, I know, Peanut. No, she keeps coming in here and then she goes back out there, in here, out there. I want her to stay in here with me, but no, she wants to go out there. I even bring some of their beds in here. It doesn't matter. She wants to go out there. And Minnie is out there too, hopefully. I think she went outside for a minute. Hogging the whole thing. They're good about that, aren't they, Nicole? Okay, guys, thanks for coming. You guys have a great night, great day, wherever you are, okay? Hope you can go to sleep. I think I can go to sleep. It is her age, Kevin. Yep, it's her age. It's really sad. No, you're welcome and thank you. Thanks, everybody. See you guys. Night.